You know, it takes an awful lot of gumption to up and walk away from one of television's most popular programs. But that's exactly what Shelley Long did after the 5th season of Cheers, which would run for another 6 seasons. Why'd she do it? Well, I'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let's talk a little bit about Cheers. Here's a fun fact: the show wasn't an immediate hit. The ratings for the first season of the show were nothing to write home about, and if I remember things correctly, there was some concern regarding whether or not the show would be renewed for a second season. On Cheers, Ted Danson played Sam Malone, a retired baseball player who is a bartender for a warm and inviting bar in Boston where everybody knows your name. Like all great TV shows, the entire cast is incredibly good. They're all wonderful, in fact. But it was the romantic tension between Sam and waitress Diane Chambers, played by Shelley Long, that really made this show something special and so much fun to watch. For most of those first 5 seasons, TV audiences wondered if Sam and Diane would eventually fall fully head over heels in love. Couple that with the fact that Danson and Long were so good together, and well, you've got the makings of a blockbuster hit. Over the course of Cheers and its companion show Frasier, Long was nominated for an Emmy Award 6 times for playing Diane Chambers, and she won the award once. Her 1983 acceptance speech, which can be viewed right here on YouTube, is the model for how to gracefully accept an award and acknowledge the efforts of your coworkers. Quite frankly, it's a thing of beauty. However, that said, apparently, as those 5 seasons progressed, things weren't always as wonderful as Shelley's acceptance speech would have you believe. So the problem, from everything that I can tell through extensive research, is that Shelley wasn't all that much fun on set. While the others wanted to joke around and goof off a bit in between takes, Long, on the other hand, preferred to focus on the task at hand, preparing for the next scene, often by herself away from the other cast members. As you can guess, that led to a bit of separation between Shelley and the rest of the cast members, who grew quite close. Couple that with the fact that the producers of the show were very concerned about how the culmination of the Sam and Diane romance would play out. You see, television audiences are notorious for losing interest in a show after the 2 main characters tie the knot. Apparently, the ongoing fun of married life, well, it's not quite as entertaining as watching the highs and lows of a courtship in the making. The producers also felt that the bar was always meant to be Sam's one true love, and over the course of those first 5 seasons, Sam's relationship with the bar had taken a bit of a back seat. So, when Shelley told the producers that she would not be returning for the show's 6th season, they put together an elaborate send-off for her character where she and Sam would put their relationship on hold so that she could focus on her writing. It's a great episode and a brilliant one in my mind because it allowed Shelley to return as Diane later on in episodes of both Cheers and Frasier. Still, no commitment to her return was ever made, and that's just the way that Shelley wanted it, as she has said numerous times that she walked away from that show with no regrets. Replacing Shelley's Diane Chambers was Kirstie Alley as Rebecca Howe. Listening to a couple of interviews with the producers of the show, Kirstie was selected as Shelley's replacement almost immediately, and while some fans argued that the show was never the same, it did run for another 6 seasons. Personally, I thought that Rebecca Howe was a fun addition to the bar, but I did miss the quick-witted, back-and-forth, always fun banter between Sam and Diane. Of course, Shelley went on to star in a ton of movies. When she had told the producers that she wouldn't be returning to Cheers, she had already signed a deal with Disney, and because of that, while it was still a gutsy move to leave Cheers, it is more understandable knowing that this talented lady had work lined up for the foreseeable future. For me, I have to admit that post-Cheers, I love Shelley most in those zany Brady Bunch movies. She does a great job of channeling the best of Carol Brady. Along with actor Gary Cole, these 2 folks did a wonderful job of both poking fun and respectfully paying homage to Florence Henderson and Robert Reed. I have also really enjoyed Shelley's more recent appearances on ABC's Modern Family TV series as Jay Pritchett's wacky ex-wife, and I was sad when the creative team behind the show decided to kill off her character. Now, with all that said, let's talk about that very last episode of Cheers from season 11 for just a moment. So I've just got to ask the question, how many of you were in the same camp as me and really wanted Sam and Diane to end up together? I understand that this premise doesn't stay true to the producer's desire that Sam's true love be the bar, but still, gosh dang it, that series finale did not play out the way that I wanted it to. So, getting back to the fact that always on, extremely professional Shelley Long didn't always click with the other cast members, I have got to say that it is truly heartwarming to watch this video with Ted Danson and Shelley from a few years back, where Ted exercises that same level of graciousness that Shelley demonstrated decades ago when she accepted her Emmy Award. Despite the conflict and the fact that Shelley wasn't around for most of those final 6 seasons, it is clear that Ted has a tremendous amount of respect for Shelley and her work on the show that made both of them stars. Check it out when you get a chance. While the video is a short one, the interaction between these two beloved actors who had such great chemistry together is guaranteed to make you feel good. Alright, let's wrap this thing up. Shelley Long walked away, and quite frankly, in my opinion, the show was still good, but never the same. So were you like me, and did you want to see Sam and Diane together when the show finally ended? Or did you think it ended perfectly? Let me know in the comments section, and while you're at it, I'd love a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And I would be honored if you would consider subscribing to my channel. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Ever wonder what happens when you click on that little join button and become a super fan of the channel? Well, the thing that you might notice right away is that I do my best to prioritize your comments and respond to them first. It's the very least that I can do. And if you stick around for a while, you'll probably also discover the channel member updates. These are exclusive videos that I do 2 to 3 times a month. And we have exclusive live streams from time to time. Not every month, but at least a couple of times each quarter. But more than anything else, you have my total appreciation. I know it's only a couple of bucks, but it takes effort to click on that join button and express your support in that unique way.
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Michelle Pfeiffer? The only true Catwoman is Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, or Eartha Kitt. And I didn't need molded plastic to improve my physique. Pure West.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
I love it when a plan comes together.
It's time. Let's talk about music, movies, and mostly television from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff.
The Live Stream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
Good evening to one and all. Welcome to the Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and if you enjoy talking about music, movies, mostly TV from decades gone by, well, you've come to the right place. So tonight, the topic is 1989, and we're going to talk about TV, music, and movies, but we're also going to just talk about the year itself. But there are a few things that I want to cover ahead of time. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to my son, Evan, who is on moderator duty tonight. Thank you, Evan. Truly appreciated. Also, I would like to say thank you to my executive producers. So these are folks that, since my last live stream, which has been a while, have dropped either a super chat or a super thanks. Super thanks is a new thing. You can actually do that on the videos that I publish. But that's Horror Fan Addict 78, Dan Campbell, John Collins, and Kevin Connor. Thank you so much. Additionally, I want to say thank you to all of the channel members, the super fans. We've got Superplex, James Mitchell, John Collins, Retro Serial. That's ENC for those folks who know him by that moniker. Tom Gladstone, Tracy Roth Myers, Byron USA, Beesnicio, Greg McLaughlin, Lisa Fields, Kevin Walter, Mike D, Pat McCormick, a.k.a. the Golden Rage of TV, Danny Staten, who is the channel owner of the Daily Dan blog, among many other YouTube channels, Mama Pink, Jill Carter, Rochelle B, the Partially Normal. Oh, man, I can't remember the rest of that. Sorry, Rochelle. Steven Adams, George Ayers, Buddy Mills, Jason Goldtrap, Jitterbug 20714, Emily Miller, Dave Claroni, Kevin Davis, David Zintara, Rob Pinto, Scott Smith, Dominic D, Mr. Langdog, Mike and Kathy, James Harrington, Speedo 6677, Butch Shump, Rome 58, and our newest members, Classic TV Fan, Mike H. and Mark Clare. So welcome to those fellows, or those folks. I'm not sure they're fellers. They might be ladies as well. And lastly, I got to say thank you to those members, those super fans that are in the 1 year club. I've already read your names. I'm not going to read it again, but thank you so much for your loyalty and support. And since Pat McCormick isn't here yet, at least I don't think he is, let's get this out of the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. Thank you very, very, very much.
That's awesome. Thanks again for all of your support. That's truly appreciated. That's a year of being a super fan. So thank you so much, folks. All right. I think I've gotten all of the thank yous out of the way, at least for the moment. So let's do this. I wanted to also cover, of course, this week we had, I was going to say 2 days since we've got news, but it's actually really only 1 day. This was holy cow. What a mess this turned out to be. And it's really no one's fault. You can only imagine the stress that the family is going through, and Tony's management team. Tony has been not well for a while, and he had been diagnosed with liver cancer, and he succumbed yesterday. But prior to that, there was an announcement on his Facebook page by his management team. They had been talking to Tony's wife, Lauren, and there was a miscommunication. And so on Tuesday, it was announced via that Facebook page that Tony had passed away. And of course, all the major news outlets ran with it. I ran with it. I had a live stream, over 900 people at one time on that live stream, and we were talking, just remembering Tony. And it was a really great experience. It was very cathartic for me. Heck, even Jerry Mathers posted his thoughts, and that, just reading this Tuesday, a couple days ago, literally brought me to tears. And I'll just read one little piece of it again. And that's this sentence: "He was not only my brother on TV, but in many ways in life as well." Wow. Powerful words. Of course, like I said, Tony was on hospice care, but he wasn't dead. He was in his final hours, and Tony passed away yesterday. And so we lost a great one. 77 years old, Tony Dow, Wally Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver, as well as later on the new Leave It to Beaver, and so many other things. He was just such a talented man. He was a film director, a movie director, TV show director, a sculptor, just an amazing human being. Additionally, we lost a couple of others this week. David Warner, Paul Sorvino, great actors. Of course, I know David Warner best from the stuff that he did on Star Trek, the Star Trek franchise. And Paul Sorvino, those of you that are fans of the movie Goodfellas, well, he was quite memorable in that movie. And he's the father of, what's her name? Mira Sorvino. So anyway, two other great actors, great gentlemen that we've lost this week that we should definitely remember. And you know what? When this happens, I'm always heartbroken, but what it's a reminder to me is that there's this great body of work that all of these fine, talented actors have left behind, and it's their gift to us to enjoy. And that's what I would encourage all of you to do is, if you're a David Warner fan, go back and watch one of the Star Trek movies, or he was on the TV shows as well, the Next Generation, as well as some of the later iterations of Trek. And if you can stomach it, if you're a fan of those gangster movies like Goodfellas, well, there's no better a movie to go watch with Paul Sorvino in it, but he was in so much else. So there's lots to see. Go watch one of their movies. Go enjoy their talents, their gifts. All right, time to say hello to folks. Thank you so much, everyone that's here. We've got 63 people with us in the live stream right now. In the chat, we've got Lance Chaffin, Mike Silfa, Kenneth Wilkinson, Superfan Superplex, Adrian James, Superfan Tracy Roth Myers, Kenneth Wilkinson. I think I already said his name, but we'll say it again. And let's see, Superfan Emily Miller. Scrolling through here. Who else is in the chat? Justin Person is here. Let's see. Gary Carpenter, welcome to the live stream. Danny Staten is here. Welcome, Danny. Good to have you over there in South Carolina. Blue Chicken, welcome to the live stream. Keith E., welcome. Claude Saling, welcome. Rico the Perfect 11, good to have you here. Karen Lee Maloney in the house, always great to have you here. Mo Hobbs. Let's see, who else is here scrolling through. Terrell Eugene Bellinger, who says, happy Wednesday. It's a Thursday. I was going to say Tuesday. It's a Thursday, Terrell. James Dye's here. Good to have you with us, James. Michael Boyce, welcome. David Thomas, good to have you with us. Cindy D's in the house. Brenda Bunch, always a treat. Tom McCluskey, the Hungry Jerk, good to have you with us this evening. Thanks, everybody, for joining me a little bit early. My schedule, you know what? I have been kicking this can down the road for a couple of weeks now. And I've had to postpone it, and, just things. Life gets in the way, and I had to push this up a little early. I didn't want to postpone it again. So thanks to everyone who is joining me this evening. Amy B., welcome to the live stream as well. Good to have you here. Superfan Lisa Fields, always a treat to have you hanging out with us. Wolfman Jack, good to have you here. John Franzik, hello, good to have you here as well. Boy, if I miss anybody, I apologize. Sean Innes, Nick Mamonis. Let's see who else is here. Sarita Abney's here with us. So great to have you here, Sarita. Let's see. I think I've gotten most everybody, but I'm going to keep going because I see Susan Burns here. Let's see. Eric Parker's here. Skip Brock Jr.'s in the house. Good to have you with us. Skip Brock, Raja 1938, is here. We will be giving away a copy of the July issue of Retro Fan Magazine. We'll do that at the end of the hour. Oh, Brenda Bunch. She says, thank you, Mr. Dave, for your warmth and caring when you honor the losses in the entertainment field. You're very welcome, Brenda. It's hard. Sometimes people will accuse me of putting out a video trying to take advantage of the death. And that's not what I'm trying to do at all. What I'm trying to do is hopefully create at least momentarily, a place where virtually we can all connect and celebrate the lives of these folks like Tony Dow. And, we lost Larry Storch not too long ago. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish. And I'm glad you pick up on that and you feel that, Brenda. I appreciate the feedback. Let me see. And Mark Claire, I think I already welcomed you as a new member, but I'm going to welcome you again. That's awesome that you joined and you've become a super fan of the channel. Thanks so much. Let me keep going down this list. Rob Aiken's here. He says he's sort of here. Well, good to have you here, sort of. Superfan Dominic D is here. Eddie Edwards is here. Ron Nurse is here. Welcome. Good to have you with us. And Terrell says, I apologize. Happy Thursday. Hey, you know what? I can't tell you how many days I have thought it was a different day, especially now that I'm retired. I don't have to really remember what day it is, and I get confused all the time. So do not apologize, my friend. Shannon Burns is here. Welcome. Good to have you with us. Dolph Quick, great to see you in the live stream, chatting it up. Thanks so much for joining us. Sandra Sanders, welcome. Let's see. Have I got everybody? Double A Double V from San Francisco's hanging out with us, and Coingo Boingo's here as well. Always good to have you. And I am caught up. I am caught up. Uh-oh, someone's leaving negative comments. Someone's telling me not. Oh, just the comments that I get. Yeah, thank you so much. I won't. I try not to, but you know what? It's hard sometimes. I won't lie. It's hard as you read the comments, and I try to respond to as many of them as I can. So it's hard sometimes. But hey, tonight is all about 1989. So let me ask you all this, and then I'll try to highlight as much as I can. Let me ask this question. What were you doing in 1989? And I'm going to go ahead and just comment, or I'm going to show the comments on the screen as we get them, because tonight is all about remembering the wonderful year that was 1989. I have such fond memories. I will tell you this, it was the year. Let me see if I can find something really quick here while you guys start telling me what you were doing in 1989. So what I want to do is, if I can find it real quick. Oh, where is that? There it is. I think I've shared this photo before, but I'm going to share it again. There I am in 1989, and that is my wife, who I started dating in 1989. And I am one heck of a lucky guy. We continue to be married after many decades, over 30 years now, and sometimes I wonder why she puts up with all the crap that I dish out. But that is one of the reasons why 1989 is so special to me. But there are other reasons as well, including some amazing movies and TV shows, and even some music that was pretty darn phenomenal. So let's see what folks were doing in 1989. Let's see. I'm going to scroll back up here. All right. Coingo Boingo says, I got out of the Navy in 1989. Thank you for your service, Coingo Boingo. Let's see. Last year in high school for Lance Chaffin. Awesome. Amy B was in 8th grade. Raja 1938 was halfway through college. I should have been through college, but I was not. I was a slow learner. John Franzik says, I was in elementary school, 11 years old. Let's see. I think The Simpsons actually premiered, the Christmas special premiered in 89, Susan. But you're right. The TV show proper, I think, did premiere in 90. So, let's see. Superfan Lisa Field says I was in college. And let's keep reading here. Eric Parker says, senior year in high school. My first job was at Camelot Music. Awesome. I was working at Kmart in 1989. Not quite Camelot Music, but still fun. Retail. Dave Thomas was living with a friend, had 3 jobs. Oh, my goodness. Keith E. was the general manager of the Holiday Inn in Parsippany, New Jersey. Let's see. Alfred Avery, welcome to the live stream, was in college having a blast. I'm glad you like the picture. I love that picture. And yes, my Batman t-shirt, I was a big fan of that movie. We'll talk about that a little bit. Skip Rock Jr., 2nd and 3rd grade. Let's see. Thank you. She is still a beautiful, beautiful lady. Love her so much. Let's see. Danny Staten says 1989 was a rough one for me. I left for Iraq and Afghanistan and didn't get home until 93. Thank you for your service, Danny. Let's see. Adrian James working in a furniture factory in 89. Fred Smithberg, welcome to the live stream. Turned 21 at spring break, Fort Lauderdale. Awesome. Moabs, freshman in high school. Charlie Jordan says he turned 19, so he'd be at bars. Oh, Tom thought I was gay. Nothing wrong with being gay, but I'm not. Let's see. Susan Burns says, I was expecting my first baby. We had divorced, but best mates ever. And Brenda Bunch began a job as a toll booth collector. Yeah, Raja in 1938 says some Gary Berghoff vibes in that photo. I'm a little taller than Gary, but yeah, I see where you're going with the glasses and everything. Karen Lee Maloney it was a good year being a mom living up in Washington. That's awesome. Sean Innes says, I was a year out of college working in a photography lab and worked as a crew and extra on the feature film of my early career. Awesome. First feature film of my early career. Rico, the Perfect 11 says, in 1989, I was 14 and watching WrestleMania 5 with my dad. I knew he loved me because pay-per-view was $20. That is a sign of love. Let's see. James Dye was working 2 years into a 30-year career. Congratulations on that. V was working at a bank in the high-rise building, Transamerica building, 40th floor, when a guy walked in and claimed he had an appointment with Jesus. Oh, my goodness. That's a memory from 1989. Let's see. Sakina saw Batman with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton that year, as did many of us, I suspect. Metallica's first music video came out. Was that their very first music video? I remember it well. Let's see. Nick Mamonis was in college. Ron Nurse says, in 1989, I just moved out of town up near the Quebec border to go to radio broadcasting school. Oh, very cool. Up in Ontario. I'm not even trying to say the name of that university. Very cool, though. Cindy D was working at Sears in the hardware department. Many men were shocked that I knew my tools. Well, I'm not, Cindy. I'm not shocked at all. Awesome. Rob Aiken was caring for his grandmother who just spent 5 months in the hospital after brain surgery. That's awesome, Rob. Thanks so much for sharing that. Tracy Rothmeyers was an undergraduate in Superplex. Superfan Tracy Rothmeyers. Anyway, getting back to Superplex, he was working in a grocery store. Tom McCluskey was in the National Guard. Thank you for your service, sir. Back of the cereal box. Welcome to the live stream. Says, in 1989, I was a senior in high school, winning awards and working professionally in theater. Awesome. Jerry Gillespie, in 1989, working in Manhattan, saw Andy Griffith filming Matlock. How awesome is that? Clementine, welcome to the live stream. Had my first child in 89. That is so cool. Let's see. What else do we got? Mike Brown, welcome to the live stream, says, in 1989, I was on the Paramount lot. That is awesome. Drum Wild, welcome to the live stream, says, I moved to Santa Monica, California, and got a one-bedroom apartment for $250 a month. Today, it rents for over $2,000. Oh, my goodness. And Terrell throws a little trivia at us, says that ABC's TGIF launched in 1989 and all sorts of great shows there. It may have been the year that I realized I was starting to go bald too, although it might have been 88. I was fighting a battle there in the late 80s. That's great, Dolph. Let's see. It was indeed a magical year. A magical year. Mike was 5. And in 1989, if I'm reading this right, Karen Lee's oldest son passed away at 7.5 years. I am so sorry to hear that. As someone who's lost siblings, mother recently, but I watched my parents and the pain they felt when my two sisters passed away, still relatively young. They were both in their early 20s. They had cystic fibrosis, but I saw the pain and how hard that was for them. I can only imagine what you went through. So I appreciate that you honor him whenever you can, and that you still take the time to tell him how much you love him and miss him. Thank you for sharing that, Karen Lee. Lawrence, welcome. Good to have you here with us. Let's see. I'm looking to see what folks were doing in the sticks. Good to have you here. He was, or she, they were in a college and retail job at a military surplus store. Let's see. Lance Kufer or Kelfer. I was a guest in the USSR. Wow. Back in 1989. Holy cow. Constance thinks she was in high school, or, yeah. Okay. I think that's about it. It was a great year. Comments from me, and welcome to the live stream. Good to have you with us. So let me throw another question at you. Now that we've all kind of shared what we were doing in 1989. In 1989, by the way, I just started dating my future wife. I was in college as well as studying to, I had changed my major so many times. At that point, I think I'd landed on a communications degree and focused on public relations. I was going to be a newspaper guy. That was the plan. And the school that I went to out here in Utah, I wrote for the college newspaper. I did movie reviews, imagine that, and music reviews. So I had a lot of fun doing that. It was a great, once I figured out what I wanted to do in college, it was a really wonderful experience. All right, so let's move on. Let's do this. Let me share a video with you all. Let me take this off the screen. I'm going to ask everybody what their favorite TV show was in 1989, but just to get things warmed up, I'm going to play the top 10 TV shows of 1989, and I will be right back. love that music. So I'm just bopping along with it here as that was playing. So what was your favorite TV show in 1989? I'm going to go to the comments here and let's see what folks are telling me. Let's see. I'm going to just start right here in no particular place. Raja 1938 says Different World was such a great TV series. And Cindy D says Different World, my fave. Fred Smithberg says Star Trek The Next Generation stopped sucking so bad in 1989. I enjoyed every season of Next Generation. Let's see. Chrome Minion says Star Trek Next Generation. Golden Girls from Karen Lee. Clementine says The Wonder Years. Okay, here's an interesting one. Michael Boyce says my favorite show, strangely, was the Community Channel. We had another cable system back then, so variety was, I'm guessing, just a lot of different variety on that channel. Let's see. Keep reading here. Cheers was still riding high in 89. Actually, Cheers, I believe, well, I don't want to say too much there because we're going to play a game here in a bit. Yikes, Cosby, says Johnny Ennis. Yeah, I mean, that's, everybody reacts that way, but let's just focus on the show, not the man himself. The message of the show was a good one. Much like I still enjoy watching Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. Those were good messages. Lisa Superfan Lisa Field says Different World was my fave. Let's see. Keith E says Wonder Years. Michael 1989 says I love Roseanne. Kevin Davis, Superfan Kevin Davis says Wings. Let's see. Let's see what else we got. Chrome Minion says Alf, Quantum Leaf, Hard to Choose. Moab says we used to watch America's Funniest Home Videos during dinner, but I loved A Different World. Jeffrey M., welcome to the live stream, says The Wonder Years and Golden Girls, both great shows. John Doe says The Simpsons. Let's see. What else? Superfan Dominic D. also says Wings, great show. Michael Boyce, going back to his comments about the Community Channel, there was something called Cold Stories by a guy named Custer that was pretty good. Adrian James says Roseanne. Carpenter, Scary Carpenter says Alf. Superfan Superplex says Cheers. John Doe says The Simpsons. Let's see. James Dye says that Star Trek The Next Generation was his favorite. Lawrence Kufer was saying, I said that he was probably watching Dynasty back in 89. Sarita Abney says Family Matters. Superfan Dominic D says Seinfeld premiered in 1989, one of the best shows of all time. Sakina McMurrin says I loved The Golden Girls, Cosby, Empty Nest, Cheers. Yeah, all NBC shows, I think. Yeah, all NBC shows. And what a great lineup of shows right there, right? Sorry, I'm buffering, Lance. Hopefully I'm not buffering on anyone else. I hope it's. I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. Hope it's you and not me. Coingo Boingo says the Tracy Ullman Show. Sanders. Well, it wasn't in the top 10, so it was definitely a hit for sure, but wasn't in the top 10 that year. John Franzik says, I love Cheers. Superfan Tracy Rothmeyer says, too many to count. Sean Innes says, Trek Next Generation did have a rough first year. It was getting its bearing, but I still enjoyed it. Good, Superfan Superplex. It is Lance, not me. Thank you. Good to know you're not getting any buffering. Let's see what else we got. Adrian James says, loved The Golden Girls. Hungry Jerk says, The Wonder Years. Let's see. Lawrence Kufer says, yeah, Cheers was hard to miss. Superfan ENC in the house. Hey, I gave you a shout out right at the beginning. Thank you so much for all your support, Ian, and I cannot wait to join you for your podcast next week. Looking forward to it and still doing research, and thank you so much for allowing me to put that off for a week. I appreciate your willingness to be flexible, and I can't wait to visit with you and my good buddy Thrash Pondo, Bob. It'll be awesome. See, Tim Holt says Monday Night Football in the Wonder Years. Pat McCormick, no surprise there. Pat, Star Trek, The Next Generation. Maurice Hampton, welcome to the live stream. Without a doubt, Cheers. Let's see. Oh, this does not surprise me either. His favorite, superfan Danny Staton's favorite show in '89 was a radio show. I loved Art Bell Coast to Coast. I started working overnights at Kmart in the early 90s, and I would listen to Art Bell overnight. Great, great stuff to listen to. Always a little bit, creepy, good stuff. Superfan Kevin Davis says, yeah, Next Generation was good by the third seasons. Coingo Boingo says Wings. Folks are saying, or Terrell's saying that Wings premiered in 90. That sounds right to me, but still a great show. Retro Serial, ENC, Superfan Retro Serial says Married with Children. Yeah, that was a 1989 debut, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was. Sean Innes says Thursday night in the mid-'80s, Cheers, Cosby, and other show I'm forgetting. Yeah, there were some other shows. I think some of them have already been mentioned. Let's see. Good to have you here, Gary Carpenter. I think I said hello to you. Hope I said hello to you. Superfan Lisa Field says Wonder Years and Golden Girls were great. Yeah, I loved them. Big Bad John wants to know if Cagney and Lacey or The Equalizer was running. I don't know if The Equalizers was still going in '89. It may have already been canceled. Yeah, I love Fat Albert too. John Doe says MacGyver. Mike Silva says Small Wonder. Sandra Sanders says big fan of Roseanne and Cheers. Sakina McMurrin, Growing Pains, Sing Elsewhere. Eddie Dutra, welcome to the live stream. The Kids in the Hall. Oh, Pat McCormick says, superfan Pat McCormick says Twin Peaks. Yeah. And Steve H. points out that it was a great year in music and pro wrestling. We'll talk about music in just a minute. Karen Lee Maloney says, started watching a lot of Nick at Night at that time. All right, let's see. I'm going to stop there because we've got other things to talk about, and we've got lots to do. So let's talk quickly. I'm just going to talk a little bit about, let's take that comment off. And let's talk about favorite movies in 1989. Now, here are the top 5 movies, I believe, of 1989. We have at the very, very top Batman. There was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Lethal Weapon 2, Look Who's Talking. Was one of those 5 your favorite? Batman was definitely my favorite. Just the anticipation, the waiting, seeing how Michael Keaton would be as the Caped Crusader, Jack Nicholson as the Joker, all of that. It all was the perfect recipe for a mega blockbuster hit. Big fan of Tim Burton's work as a director, and that certainly was a wonderful movie, although not my favorite Batman movie at this point. But boy, was I eager to see it. My brother Steve, who has a YouTube channel, spent a lot of time listening to the radio so he could win tickets in advance to Batman, and he did, that guy. So those are the movies that were tops at the box office. What were your favorite movies? Let me go over to the comments here. Let's see what we got going on. I'm going to scroll up. It looks like we still got TV conversation here. Let me get to Coingo Boingo says Top Gun. That was in 85, but it certainly was a wonderful movie. Pat McCormack says, I'm Batman. Love that line. Love that line. Shannon Burns says Lethal Weapon was my favorite, or Lethal Weapon and Batman. And John Franzik says Batman was my favorite. Constant Cherry liked Look Who's Talking, Big Bad John, Lethal Weapon 2. Cindy Meadows, welcome to the live stream, says Batman. Superfan Kevin Davis, The Last Crusade, Indiana Jones 3, and Batman. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Dolph Quick says he loved them all. And ENC says, yes, Batman. Nick Mamona says Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. John Doe says Batman rules. Superfan Lisa Field says, I loved Batman and Look Who's Talking. That was a fun little comedy, wasn't it? Karen Lee Maloney, Look Who's Talking. Alfred Avery says, Look Who's Talking was hilarious. Adrian James says, Batman. I remember the Batman promotions as well. Gary Carpenter says, rest in peace, Larry Storch. Yes, rest in peace. We had a live stream where we just spent time celebrating his life not too long ago. I think you were there, Gary. I hope you were. Sean Innes says, Drugstore Cowboy, Say Anything. A couple great movies. I like them both. I don't remember them being 89, but they very well could have been. Very well could have been. Of course, I always think about that great music in Say Anything in Your Eyes by Peter, goodness, Gravy. Can't believe I can't remember his last name. Used to be in Genesis. Gabriel. Let's see. Superfan Danny Staten says Batman. Terrell says Heathers and Troop Beverly Hills. Yeah, those are both fun movies. Marcus Way says Field of Dreams. Let's see. Yeah, Superfan Dominic D says Drugstore Cowboy was great. And Moab says was Troop Beverly Hills 1989. Loved that movie. Superfan Tracy Roth-Meyer says Glory. Oh, Thrash Pondo. Bob, you are so late. I'm sorry. I had to change it, bump it up to 5 o'clock. I have to end, or 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern. Unfortunately, I have to end this in, we're in just a few minutes here. But we have time enough for a drawing, and we have time enough for a little game as well before we wrap things up tonight. James Dice says Batman, didn't see it until it came out on cable. Well, great movie, though. Great movie. Heather, so much fun. Christian Slater was really good in that movie. He reminded me of a young Jack Nicholson. Joe Kelly says Batman and Indiana Jones. Marcus Way says Major League. A couple of baseball movies I believe you've mentioned. Mike Silva says The Wizard and Troop Beverly Hills. Adrian James says Back to the Future 2. Let's see. Mike Silva says, big fan of Heather. Cindy D. Yes, I'm glad someone mentioned Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. Lawrence Kuffer says that Jack Nicholson was great as the Joker, but Cesar Romero was good for a great laugh. I love Cesar Romero. He was so good as the Joker. Let's see. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is an older movie, but a great one nonetheless. Let's see. Did Ghost come out in 89 or was that 90? I can't remember. Let's see. Top Gun was 85, I think, but still a wonderful movie. Maybe 86. Batman was such a monster hit, says Raja in 1938. Jack Nicholson, Tim Burton, and a Prince soundtrack. Carl Dunn says Batman and Major League. Let's see. See No Evil, Hear No Evil with Richard Pryor. Well, that was with Gene Wilder as well, right? Pretty sure it was. Pat McCormick says, Say Anything for Sure. Cameron Crowe movie, if I remember right. He was the director of that film. Yes, thank you. Peter Gabriel. That's the name I was looking for. I always get such good help from everyone when I can't remember a name, when I'm having my senior moments. Sandra Sanders says, Glory, love that film. Do the Right Things as Rico the Perfect 11, Look Who's Talking, and Indiana Jones 3, of course. And we're all forgetting Gleaming the Cube. Coingo Boingo. Yeah, I think that was just a few years earlier than 89. I remember the All-Nighter. That was with Susanna Hoffs from the Bengals. Glory was a great movie. Yeah, we did try to ditch you, Bob. I told everyone else about the time for the live stream, but told them all not to tell you. Sorry about that, buddy. Let's see. Lance Chaffin says Batman. All right. Oh, this movie made me cry. I am a weeper. And one of the things that when we went and saw that, I went and saw that with my future wife, Kim. There's a scene in that movie where I could not hold it in, and I was crying out loud, and people in front of me, behind me were I gave my wife numerous moments for her to realize that maybe I wasn't the one. Thankfully, she stuck around, but still Magnolias. To this day, she talks about that movie, and I just couldn't hold it in. I was crying very loudly at that movie. So anyway, here we go. So let's play a game. Oh, wait, I wanted to do one other thing real quick before we play a game. Let me take this off the screen. Let me do this. 1989. What was it like? Folks remember, we got $5 gas now. Well, back in 1989, a gallon of gas would cost you $1.08. How about that? $1.08. First class stamp was just 25 cents. A loaf of bread, $1.29. A gallon of milk, $2.14. And I can still, some of these things aren't that far removed. It's amazing that you can still go to the store and get a loaf of bread. Admittedly, the store brand, but a loaf of bread for $1.50. Gallon of milk is $3 now or something like that. But the gas one, a gallon of gas, that's a big difference. And a new house, $124,000. That's a big difference today from today's prices as well. The average income in 1989 was $27,450. All right. Here we go, folks. Quick game. 5 TV shows that debuted in 1989. I'm going to give you a blurry image, and then I'm going to ask you to tell me what it is. Now, you can put it in the chat if you want, but I think if you don't know the answer, don't look in the chat until you do, or until you're ready to put an answer in, because everybody try to keep track. There's 5 of these images. I want to know how you do. We'll look at after, let's say, the 3rd image, we'll get a score, and then after the 5th image, we'll get a score as well. Here's the first one, a TV show that debuted in 1989. I tried to make this first one fairly easy. Let me go ahead and give everybody, put the 30-second timer on the clock. And that's all you're going to get, 30 seconds to identify this particular TV show. You can do it in the chat if you want. You can just do it in your head. You're going to have to keep track of the score in your head as well. I will unblurify this thing in just about 10 seconds, but this was another show that debuted in 1989. Hint-wise, it debuted on NBC and later on became a bigger hit in syndication. I am, of course, talking about Baywatch. That first season on NBC, actually Parker Stevenson was on the show as well. This is a picture of the cast from a later season. So hopefully everybody got that one right. Let's move on. Here's another television show that debuted in 1989. Initially wasn't a huge hit, but later on, of course, developed quite the following. I don't think I want to tell you what network this show was on, but yeah, I would say it's when folks rank out TV shows, this is quite often on the list. I think that's enough hints. Hopefully everybody got it. The correct answer for this one is Seinfeld, also debuted in 1989. All right, here we go. Another TV show that debuted in 89, and I didn't hear anybody talk about this show, so this one will be interesting to see who can get what this show is. Debuted in 89. I haven't put on the timer, but I'll put it on right now. Man, I'm going to take a swig, and I'm just going to quietly let folks guess while the timer, while the seconds tick away. That's good stuff. Good to stay hydrated when things are so darn hot right now. All right, I'm going to take the timer off the screen, and let's go ahead and show, yes, Doogie Howser, MD. All right, I am ready for some scores, folks. How are you doing out of 3? Okay, I'm going to start looking for scores. Haven't seen anything yet, but I do love this, Pat. Pat said, where is that comment? That says bosom buddies, the early years. That's awesome. Superfan Superplex was 3 for 3. Is 3 for 3. Kenneth Wilkinson's 1 of 3. Terrell is 3 of 3. Of course you are, Terrell. Superfan Emily Miller, 3 of 3. David Thomas, 3 of 3. Thresh Pondo Ponds, 3 for 3. Marcus White, 3 for 3. I'm making this way too easy. Nick Mamonis, 3 of 3. Chrominion, 3 of 3. Danny Hooley, 3 of 3. Superfan Dominic D, 3 of 3. Raven Poe, good to have you here on the live stream, RP. 3 of 3. James Dye, 3 of 3. Shannon Burns, 3 of 3. Yeah, Pat says, Danny Staten, Superfan Danny Staten, 3 of 3. Superfan Lisa Fields, 3 of 3. Hey, Sean Innes says he's enjoying the reboot. I haven't watched it yet, but since you say you're enjoying it, I think I will give it a try. Brenda Bunch, 3 of 3. Amy B, 3 of 3. Fred Smithberg, 3 of 3. Sandra Sanders, 3 of 3. Moabs, 3 of 3. Claude Saling, 1 of 3. Cindy Meadows, 3 for 3. John Franchik, 3 of 3. Rob Aiken, 3 of 3. Sean Innes, 3 of 3. Lance Chaffin, 3 of 3. Sakina McMurrin, 3 of 3. Dolph Quick, 3 of 3. Yes, I made it way too easy. Susan Burns, 2 of 3. Superfan Tracy Roth Myers. Just got them all so far. Coingo Boingo has managed to find a bonus point. Good on you. 4 out of 3. Let's see what else we got. I think I did Susan already. 2 of 3. Auburn Kim is 3 of 3. Sarita Abney's 3 for 3. Cindy D's 3 for 3. Karen Lee Maloney, 2 of 3. John Franchik, 3 of 3. John Doe Perfect, 3 for 3. Carl Dunn is 0 for 0. He must have just joined us. Tracy Roth Myers is 3 for 3. And James Bodnerchuk is 2 of 3. Did not make out Doogie. Yeah, that was probably the hardest one of the bunch. All right, let's keep going. Let us keep going. Here is the next one. Let me get the timer up on the screen. Oh, yep. Another television show that turned out to be quite a big hit, debuting in 1989. 1989 was a very good year for television shows. Love that. I'm having this, it's a strawberry lemonade Crystal Light, and it's delightful. Let me take that off the screen. Family Matters, part of that TGIF lineup that Terrell was talking about a little bit earlier. Yes, it debuted in 1989. And here is the last one, folks. You know what? Just looking at this, I should have blurred this more. I think it's too easy, but, what can I say? I'm being kind and generous tonight with this, my blurification. So let me put the timer on, and we'll let people get to guessing. So hang on, folks. Hang on. We are going to be giving away a copy of the July 2022 issue of Retro Fan Magazine in just a moment. Now, to have this sent to your home, you do need to be in the United States. So if for some reason you win the drawing and you're outside of the United States, I will have to substitute an alternate prize for you. So you can still participate in the drawing, but it won't be the July 2022 issue of Retro Fan Magazine. It will be something else. So, how many of you guys got this? Quantum Leap, what a great show. Not really looking forward all that much to the reboot, if truth be told. All right, let's get final scores, folks, and then we'll do the drawing. I want some final scores here. Tell me how many you got out of 5. I'm going to take that off the screen, and let's see how folks did. Scrolling along, trying to get a score here. So many comments. There we go. I think this is the first one. Karen Lee was 3 of 5. Good job. Clementine must have joined us late or left a little bit, but 3 of 3. Emily says, I love both of those men. Aren't they great actors? Let's see. Superfan Superplex was 4 for 5. Rob Aiken was 5 of 5. Danny Hooley, 5 of 5. Shannon Burns, 5 of 5. Chrominion, 5 of 5. Sorry, you're buffering, Tom. James Dye, 5 of 5. Claude Claude Salling, 3 of 5. Cindy Meadows, 1 of 5. Rico, the perfect 11, 5 of 5. Amy B, 5 of 5. Superfan Emily Miller, 5 of 5. Fred Smithberg, 5 of 5. Terrell, 5 of 5. Danny Staten, Superfan Danny Staten, 5 of 5. Marcus White, 5 of 5. John Franchik, 5 of 5. Danny Hooley, 5 of 5. James Frazier, 4 out of 5. Lance Chaffin, 5 of 5. Everybody did so good this time. Sean Innes, 4 of 5. Lisa Fields, Superfan Lisa Fields, 5 of 5. I almost took a point away from you, Lisa. I'm so sorry. Ken Wilkinson, 1 out of 5. Cindy D, 5 for 5. Auburn Kim, 5 of 5. Brenda Bunch, 5 of 5. Superfan Dominic D, 5 of 5. Tracy Rothmeyers, 5 of 5. Superfan Tracy Rothmeyers. I think I already said that, but we'll say it again. Let's see. David Thomas, 4 of 5. Didn't get Family Matters. That was a tougher one. Sarita Abney, 5 of 5. John Doe, 5 for 5. Susan Burns, 3 of 5. Moab's 5 of 5. Mike Brown, 5 of 5. Sakina McMurrin, 5 of 5. Crow Minions to Scott and Dean were the perfect buddy team. Boy, they sure were. Custom God is 1 of 1. Just got here. Well, you got a perfect score tonight then, Custom God. Good job. James Bodnichuk was 3 of 5. Too easy, Mr. Dave. I'm going to have to make them harder. Okay, Brenda. Our Patricia Bove, 3 of 5. Sanders, 5 of 5. Carl Dunn was 2 of 2, was late. Joining us, Stealth Quick, 4 of 5. Curse my weak bladder. You know, I have the same issues. Don't curse it. Embrace it. We'll all get to a point where the bladder isn't what it once was, particularly if you're dreaming. What am I saying? Drinking a lot, particularly if you're drinking a lot. That's what happens when you start reading comments as you're talking. Lance Chaffin knows this drill oh so well. So let's get rolling here. Let me go ahead and share a screen. There it is. We've got Lance's entry into the drawing. This is what is being offered up tonight. Let me go ahead and show a copy of the July 2022 edition of Retro Fan with the lovely Julie Newmar on the cover. It doesn't get much better than that, but I'll tell you, I really enjoyed the article about Filmation bringing Tarzan to life during the mid-70s on CBS as a cartoon. Really good stuff. There's also, well, this is a really great issue. There's a ton of good stuff if you're a fan of the Monkees. There's a fun article about the Monkey Mobile. And the article about Pebbles cereal, that influenced a video I did about a month ago about Star Trek being incorporated into those Flintstones Pebbles cereal commercials. Lots of fun. It's a great magazine. It's a little bit different than Remind, which I often talk about and share how much I love Remind magazine. This one really is like you're channeling your inner geekiness. This is a lot of cult stuff that, and if you were a kid in the 70s and even into the 80s, you'll just love this magazine. I'll post a link to, if you're interested, if you don't win and you want a copy, I'll post a link to the order form, the online order form. You can subscribe to the magazine, or you can just pick up a single copy. It's really good stuff. All right, we've got 30 entries in. That's probably good enough. I'll give folks a second or two more while I take this off the screen. Hashtag RetroFan is how you get into the drawing. And let me go full screen for this. There we go. We go ahead and hit the draw button, and let's see who our winner is tonight. Auburn Kim is our winner tonight. Congratulations, Auburn Kim. So good to, you know what, that's so much fun. I think it's the first time I've seen you in the live stream, and so cool that you were able to win that. I hope you enjoy it. Here's how you can, let me go ahead and take that off the screen. Here's what I need you to do. I've got this email address right here. If you would go ahead and send me your details to that email address. So I need an address, a name and an address, and I'll take care of the rest. I'll forward on all that information to the Retro Fan folks, and they'll get a copy sent to your mailbox. So again, congratulations, Auburn Kim. So excited for you. I truly hope you enjoy the July 2022 issue of Retro Fan Magazine. Okay, go ahead and take that off the screen. If you haven't had a chance to write it down yet, Auburn Kim, you can always rewind this thing and go back and kind of pause on that part of the live stream. Oh, what do we have? We have a couple minutes left here. Let's do this. We didn't talk at all about music. Let's see. Or better said, the top songs in 1989. Here they are. Look Away was one of my favorites. I had no idea that it was the top song in 1989. Of course, I remember My Prerogative by Bobby Brown, and Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison, Miss You Much by Miss Janet Jackson, and Straight Up by Paula Abdul. I thought that was a great song too. I think that was kind of her first big hit, Straight Up. Really wonderful song. So great music in 1989. Of course, this is the pop songs, the top hits from the Billboard Top 100. And really did like that Look Away song by Chicago. I believe it was their first song. I think it was their first song without Peter Cetera singing vocals. He'd been singing vocals for a number of years, been the lead vocalist, and then he left. And I think that might have been their first album, or one of the first albums, without Cetera as a member of the band. He'd gone off and, of course, had amazing success as a solo artist. All right, folks, it has been an absolute delight to join you here for this live stream tonight. Thank you to everyone. At one point, we had almost 100 people. We may have had 100 people with us hanging out tonight on the live stream. It has been so darn good. I do apologize for ending this thing a little earlier than I normally do, but like I said, there's just a lot going on right now, and I didn't want to kick this can down the road. I wanted to go ahead and have the live stream. I wanted to connect with everybody here. It's been a while since I've seen you all. Well, you know what? That's not so true. I see many of you in other chats, whether it's ENC's live streams or Bob Thrash Pondo's live streams or Pat McCormick's live streams. He's had some great ones lately, hasn't he? And there's a new guy in the live stream game, Danny Staten. He has a live stream that he does later on in the evenings. You should check that one out as well. Superplex says, Superfan Superplex, Dave has to go back to his top secret job for the government. Nothing that fancy or cool. Let me assure you. I'm going to go make dinner is what I'm going to go do. So hardly top secret and hardly for the government. We're going to do a little, my wife has marinated some beef bulgogi, Korean food. And so my job is to, now that she's marinated it, is to cook it on up. And she's going to be home from work in just a little bit. So thanks again for joining us tonight. Congratulations to Auburn Kim. And you know what? Here's the deal. We live in crazy times. We really do. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of chaos out there. Thank you for taking a little bit of time to step away from all that and just kind of remember things when they were just a little bit simpler. At least in my head they were. When people were a little bit nicer, they were a little bit kinder. That's why I say, you know what? Let's all do our best to be kind and remember the good, the things that made life so wonderful, whether it was in 1989, 1979, or 1969. Be kind and remind. Folks, again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure. Have a great week.